Howdy, Steve here with the Sunday Stoic Podcast. We're going to continue our exploration of the Enchiridion this week with Chapter 4. When you are going to take in hand any act, remind yourself what kind of an act it is. If you are going to bathe, place before yourself what happens in the bath. Some splashing the water, others pushing against one another, others abusing one another, and some stealing. And thus, with more safety, you will undertake the matter, if you say to yourself, I now intend to bathe, and to maintain my will in a manner conformable to nature. And so you will do in every act, for thus, if any hindrance to bathing shall happen, let this thought be ready. It was not only that I intended to bathe, but I also intended to maintain my will in a way conformable to nature. But I shall not maintain it so, if I am vexed by what happens. So, quick summary. Whenever undertaking any act, we need to be mindful. We need to remember what we're doing and try not to go onto autopilot. Because a lot of times we set up a fantasy of what's about to happen. I'm about to go into an establishment and it's going to be great. I'm going to find what I want. There's going to be nobody in line. I'm going to check out and it's all about me. And that's how we think. But in reality, you can't find the item. The item's sold out. There's a big line at the register. The cashier doesn't know what they're doing. Someone needs a price check and it takes forever. Your credit card doesn't work. Whatever. Things get in the way and they could make you mad. So pause for a moment before any act to remind yourself what you're trying to do. What challenges are likely to arise during this act? Just a quick review, just so you're not surprised by them, because that surprise can cause instant anger. If you're going to a public bath, not something I have much experience with, but what kinds of things might interfere with your enjoyment? And in the case of Epictetus, we have people bumping into each other, stealing, being too loud, splashing, things that, if you were expecting a nice tranquil experience, then you walk in and it's kind of a mess, you're going to be mad. So he says we have to remember we have two goals. One is to bathe, and the other is to be conformable to nature, meaning to be tranquil, to accept what happens with equanimity. So if your act is hindered, remember that your primary goal is to maintain tranquility. So how do we apply this? Before going into any act, we have to keep our head engaged. Say, oh, I'm about to walk into Walmart. If you don't live in an area with a Walmart, well, congratulations. But you're about to walk into a Walmart. What kind of things might interfere with my plans to pick up the item I'm planning on getting? And you can run through a quick list. Okay, this probably won't be quite the model experience that I have in my head where I just walk in, there's no one in my way, the store's empty, I walk in, I get what I want, and I leave. It may be more complicated than that. What can I do to prepare myself for them? Well, just remember that your primary goal is to accept what happens and adapt and overcome, right? How can I maintain my calm in the face of things I can't control? So all of this kind of ties together. Okay, if this happens, I'll be all right. I'll just wait. If my credit card doesn't work, well, I can live without this item, or maybe I have a little cash I can spend instead, or if the lines are too long, I really need to be somewhere, I'll just leave and I'll get the item later. You can have just a few ideas running through your head. It doesn't have to be extensive. The primary thing is if you want to bypass all of that, you can just say, I'm going to Walmart, but my primary goal is to maintain my calm. That might be enough. So things to start, when to think about this, it's before really any task, before commuting to work, whether that be driving or riding public transit. Each one has its challenges that may make the experience less than amazing. Going grocery shopping, like I said, making breakfast. Oh, maybe I'll be out of eggs. Maybe I'll break the yolk. Maybe I don't know. You can apply it to just about any situation. If you can take a second, remind yourself what you're doing, especially if you're like me and you can fly off the handle if something goes wrong. If I'm making this video, I might misspeak. I might have to start over, and I have a couple of times. The computer might crash. It might not upload. Everyone might hate it. Whatever. There are things that can go wrong, will go wrong. But if none of that goes wrong, then you have the flip side. You can say, hey, that went great. I'm really grateful. I have a lot of gratitude for how well that went. And so then you get a double a double plus. It went well, and you're grateful for it. You paid attention to the fact that you're grateful for it. Anyway, something to think about from our good friend Epictetus. Thanks for joining me this week, and I'll do another one of these soon. We'll look at chapter 5 next.